Alright everybody, it's Grand Theft Auto 6 news season and we want to talk about more. So you hopefully saw our video already breaking down the second trailer, our first reactions to it, but now we've gathered up roughly 50 little details spotted in this lengthy trailer. Now, full disclosure here, we are not super genius, eagle-eyed people. We didn't spot all of these. A lot of these, the credit goes to the incredibly observant fans at the GTA 6 subreddit, r/GTA6. Definitely check out what they got going on over there, a lot of cool stuff, but again, we got 50 little details to point out, some really small, some really interesting, so let's get started off with number 50. Here's an interesting little short clip from the GTA 6 website that looks an awful lot like it's an in-game moment of character swapping. The way the camera stops, then swings from Jason to Lucia, seriously looks like it's some moment where you actually get to pick your character or something. We could be reading into it a little bit, I don't know. Look, to us, it looks like a scripted scene where you get to pick who you're going to play as during a mission. Perhaps depending on who you play as, missions play out differently. This is all speculation, you know, maybe you just get to pick what order you're doing things, I don't know. But I do think that this looks like our first instance, possibly, of a player swapping moment. Or maybe it's just something they did for the website and it's not actually anything. Gotta take all this stuff with a grain of salt, of course. But credit to discovering this one goes to Board 101 Baka. They may be onto something here. Next, over at number 49, check out this screenshot with Lucia at the pool. If you look closely, you can see that she's actually wearing wireless headphones, which means that we might finally, possibly, maybe, get to listen to the radio outside of a vehicle, finally. That could be really interesting. This was something people speculated by when GTA 5 trailers were coming out, but that game never did it. But I gotta imagine that GTA 6 might finally pull the trigger and allow us to listen to music away from a car for the first time in the series. Now, thanks to Nathan y'all for catching this one. I really hope this means we're finally free of the deafening silence that is just kind of wandering around the open world when you're not in a car. Next at number 48, Jason is former Special Forces. Look, we knew he was former military. His character bio on the website explains that, but there's actually more to this. As seen by user Actual Riot, Jason's tattoo isn't just some generic thing, it's actually a slightly modified version of the actual Army Rangers insignia, which has text that says, B Company Marauders. So Jason wasn't just some military guy, he was technically Special Forces. Next at number 47, there's a second state. Okay, yes, this is a huge one. We're crediting this discovery to _LaDerp_, but there are a lot of people speculating about this all right now. If you look at some of the license plates in the game right now, most of them have the Leonida on the plates, you know, like the Florida stand-in, but a few have other locations like Liberty City, and more importantly, the state of Gloriana, which many assume to be this game's stand-in for the nearby state of Georgia. It's possible that this is just some like little world building detail and there's nothing else to it, but hey, it's possible that maybe GTA 6 will cover not just one, but two fictional states, Leonida and Gloriana. Who knows? Next at number 46, this doesn't just stop with a few license plates. There is more compelling evidence that at least some of Gloriana will be explorable in GTA 6. So this discovery comes from Sir Feral, who noticed that this screenshot from Mount Calagan National Park looks suspiciously similar to a place called Provide Canyon State Park in, you guessed it, real-world Georgia. So it looks like crossing the state might actually be partially possible. Maybe it's just this state park, or maybe there's more to it, but either way, it's just some more interesting world building and a couple of more clues. Next, over at number 45, user Interesting Pop H629 recognized an amazing detail from many of the screenshots with Cal Hampton. It looks like this game has its own version of Gatorland, a real-life Florida amusement park, complete with mini golf courses and pool tables. Now, the mini golf is especially exciting. You can't have a game set in a resort location like Vice City without a little mini golf, so it just fits perfectly, and this could make for a really fun mini game if it's real. Next, at number 44, this has got to be the deepest of deep cuts spotted in the trailer. This goes to CPH2001, who noticed that if you look closely at the money in the club screenshot, then you can see the president's faces on the dollars. And they're not just any random faces. They're actually some of the presidents from Red Dead Redemption 2 that you see on some of the cigarette cards. They managed to identify both faces seen on the cashier. One is Thaddeus Waxman, and the other is Franklin Hardin. This level of detail that we're looking out here, people. This is like next level stuff. This is crazy. Next at number 43, look, the workout stuff in the trailer really does make it look like, San Andreas style exercising might be back in GTA 6. How much it's in the game and how much it can really change your playable characters is yet to be seen. Hell, we don't even know if it's really a thing or not, but the possibility is there. I mean, at the very least, in some instances, Jason looks a little buffer than others, so maybe it changes. Next at number 42, they're actually going to use the clutch and pedals in GTA 6. This is interesting. This is spotted by Nimsock Cosimo. It looks like GTA 6 will be more realistically modeled like how people drive cars, if this screenshot from Ambrosia is to believed here. So what's notable here is that the guy in the screenshot is actually using the clutch and it appears to be pressing down on the pedal. In previous GTA games, nobody ever used the clutch really realistically, and the pedals were always just for show. They never changed positions. The character might move their feet to show that they're braking, but the pedals never move. It looks like that might be changing here in 6, with more recognizable and realistic car interactions. I know it's a lot to extrapolate from a single screenshot, but if this isn't BS, then the entire car driving animation stuff will probably look better in this game than in GTA 5. Now at number 41, we can't believe that somebody noticed this, but if you look at the various different times this house appears in the trailers, there's actually something different in one of them. All credit for this goes to user RepulsiveBig4349, who noticed that in one scene, the curtains are actually different, which could mean that there will be some form of customization at work here, maybe? Look, it's a lot to go on from just a simple curtain, but sometimes curtains reveal secrets. Curtains can say a lot about someone. Look, I don't know what I mean with that, but look, it does fit with the old leaks about the interior technology Rockstar was apparently working on, so it is possible. Now, next at number 40, here's something that we were thinking was possible, but here comes user snoo_61724 with some evidence to back it up. So, using screenshots and screen grabs from the trailer, they've pieced together a compelling argument that GTA 6 might have some kind of hair and beard growth system like in Red Dead. The variety and length of hair and beards on Jason specifically seem to suggest that they're possibly procedural and not just cosmetic options. Next at number 39, as seen by Purkey, it looks like Lucia starts the game with some community service to do. Does this mean that there's a trash picking minigame? Look, knowing Rockstar, I wouldn't put them past them. It's definitely probably a thing. We've worked at docks, we've mopped floors before, so picking up trash on the side of the highway, and with her character being highlighted as someone getting out of jail, it makes sense. Next at number 38, one other thing from the safe house, as fans have started calling it, is this pet snake in a terrarium in the background. Now, we're crediting this find to Corrupt Cola, who speculates that there's a possibility of maybe some kind of pet snake mechanic. Who knows? It sounds like a Florida thing. Could just be a piece of furniture or background detail, but it would be cool if there were pet mechanics, even if it was basic, as far as these games go. Next at number 37, as noticed by Zeri47, this is something that most people have probably noticed, but it really bears repeating. The draw distances we've seen in Trailer 2 are incredible. Usually in games, shadows get flat and stuff obviously starts getting lower quality the further out the distance you're looking. And while that is true in GTA 6, if you squint hard enough, yeah, the fidelity and the range of the draw distance is stunning. And that alone makes GTA 6 just look significantly more realistic than what we've seen in open world games so far. Red Dead 2 had some amazing vistas, and it looks like GTA 6 is where Rockstar really raises the bar even higher than before. Next at number 36, here's an awesome one. This one comes from Zancudo, who noticed that there's something moving in the background if you look closer at this scene in the trailer where that guy Brian is talking to Jason. You can see his truck, and behind that, there are some trash cans that are actually moving around. And if you zoom in close, you can actually see what's going on. There's a raccoon rummaging through the garbage. That's a hell of a tiny detail to throw in a cutscene. Maybe it's actually something that just happens naturally in the game world, in gameplay. If so, that would be great. We don't normally see wildlife in urban settings like this in these games. Usually you get a few pigeons and that's it. All the wildlife is really usually always sequestered off into the wilderness, so maybe GTA 6 is going to better integrate animals into the rest of the game. Who knows? But over at number 35, speaking of animals, as seen in this one screen grab from Mount Calaga National Park, which shows a mountain lion sneaking through a creek, it looks like animals in GTA 6 actually get wet when they're submerged in water. Look, it's a very small detail. It's hard to notice, but if you look at the legs, they give it away. There are parts that are darker than the rest. So it's good to see Red Dead 2's obsessive attention to animal detail remaining alive and well here. That's just crazy. Shout out to Seamus Dean for discovering this one. Next at number 34, as spotted by Top Exit 3954, GTA 6 appears to contain many forms of public transport, including monorails and even some metro movers, which are like monorails, but not. There are also, it appears there are trains to travel between cities. I hope all this stuff is actually rideable and not just for show, but even still, it's an impressive attention to detail. Now, next at 33, we don't know what the radio stations in GTA 6 will look like, but it's highly possible that V-Rock is returning, as spotted by significant_piece349. In one of the screenshots on the game's website, Jason is seen rocking a V-Rock t-shirt. And if you don't remember, V-Rock was the rock and roll radio station way back from Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It was one of the best radio stations in the entire series, and the name alone is just extremely nostalgic for some of us, man. Seeing it back in some form in GTA 6 would be awesome. Look, it's just a t-shirt, it's just a reference, but knowing that the station exists in this world gives us hope. Next at number 32, here's a cool little thing that's easy to miss on the GTA 6 website. If you look at the site's navigation menu, there are some hidden pieces of artwork that look an awful lot like some old-fashioned GTA loading screens. Are they a reference? Or will we be spending like 8 minutes staring at these every time GTA 6 starts up like in the old days? Look, I expect loading will be a lot faster this time around, just because of solid-state drives and all that stuff, all that technology, but it'll probably not be instant, so it's possible that, there will be loading screens for GTA 6. Yes, this goes to Tradmoon on Reddit, but yeah, you heard it here first. Loading screens possibly confirmed. Look, we're trying to be thorough here, okay? Next at number 31, credit here goes to a sharp-eyed user, Heartalot, for noticing that there is a drawbridge rising up in the background of this screenshot of Raul Bautista. You know what that means? Some impromptu ramps ready to go. That would be sweet, man. You love to see these things in games as long as they aren't forcing you to stop and wait for them to close again, but I doubt that's how they'll work here. It seems like you'll just be able to jump them, like in a big old action movie, which really, that's like the ideal drawbridge here. That's awesome. Next at number 30, spotted briefly in the trailer by Accomplished Peak 93, you can see a cruise ship. Seeing something like that, it's hard not to wonder if you can actually go inside it, maybe play some, gambling or shuffleboard, or even drive the ship. Look, it's unlikely, but at least give us a mission inside the ship. You can't put something like that in the game and not expect players to want to check it out. But again, committing to that Florida detail, capturing the real world Florida here, the cruise ship is just the way to go. It makes sense that they're here. Next over at number 29, another crazy detail. This one is the ammunition commercial part. There's a few beers on the table, and if you zoom in on one of them, you can actually see bubbles moving around in the beer. Look, forget the horse testicles from Red Dead. GTA 6 has literal beer bubble physics. I mean, it's probably a canned animation or a visual trick, but still, this is an extremely realistic beer. Now, next over at number 28, beer seems to play a pretty big role in GTA 6. You see it everywhere, and the detail Rockstar put into it is really out of this world. This other example of that here, this user Mascarola noticed that the beer can in this screenshot isn't just sitting in the water, it's actually got bubbles coming out of the can that are floating on the water's surface. Look, it could just be a bull shot or like a fake thing, but all of Red Dead Redemption 2's promotional materials and stuff like used real screenshots, so hopefully that's true here as well with all these tiny details. And with those details at number 27, we're sticking with beer. Another one. In the trailer, near the end with the Carl Hampton guy, he's shaking an open beer, and if you look at it, the beer is actually spilling as he shakes it up and down. The details they put into the beer in this game are just incredible. This game is probably going to be like a weird free booze advertisement. The beers just always look so good, but again, kids, if you're listening, don't drink underage. Next at number 26, is Jason in the scene with the cop? This is a huge one that we're not going to dwell on more, but if you subscribe to the Jason is a cop or an undercover cop theory, then this thread by Groove Move has a lot of discussion that might have you nodding your head. It's very possible that the person in the foreground in the scene with the cop conversation is Jason. The part where a guy asks if Jason is a Fed, the part where he's picking up Lucia from the jail and the prison guard recognizes him, it all points to Jason maybe being involved in law enforcement in some way. Look, there's a lot lot to unpack here, and it could be nothing. It's still a little bit of a reach, but for now, it's interesting. Next, over at number 25, check this out, the city of Green Rivers. I love seeing like real world comparison shots, and user Sean Lee 8808 provides with some shot by shot views of the city of Cedar Key, Florida, compared to the GTA 6 city of Green Rivers. The resemblance is uncanny. A lot of this stuff is shockingly accurate. Even certain buildings are nearly the same. This is cool. Now, next over at number 24, a funny little background detail spotted by Shrinking Sherbert 296. There's an advert for this ridiculous burger that has 30,000 calories. It's something that wouldn't look out of place in Cyberpunk 2077. That's apparently just where we're at now. And I know some people are speculating about like the level of humor and what kind of stuff GTA is going to poke fun at in 2026 or whatever in this time period, this day and age, and making fun of American excess with an insane burger that is 30,000 calories. I love it. That just fits right in. Next at number 23, another amazing rundown of the many ways GTA 6 appears to capture real-life Florida in a way no other game has. User Cycrot went through footage containing the Leonida Keys and managed to spot some major landmarks in the Key Largo Microwave Tower and Rain Barrel Village, among other landmarks really here. They are totally recreating the Florida Keys, a popular destination for vacation and beach life, and it looks great. Next at number 22, just to remind you that the trailer isn't pure BS, there is a ray tracing distance limit here. So sometimes it's nice to be reminded that GTA 6 is still going to be a real game. People are getting hyped, but like again, it's a video game. There are limitations. The trailers may look almost impossibly good at times, but you can see the cracks that just tell us that yes, this is footage of a video game, not totally a pre-rendered animation meant to trick us into things. As said by Zealous Ideal Fix 8710, if you look at this one moment in the trailer, you can actually see where the ray trace reflections stop rendering, switching from a perfect reflection to like a vague, blurry mess. Look, there's got to be a limit somewhere, and while it's pretty far, it's not infinite, which only gives us further hope that the final version of GTA 6 will actually end up looking like this. They've said that this is running on a base PS5, and yeah, cool, love to see it. Next over at number 21, there will be sharks. This is spotted by user which is impressive because we didn't see this at first, but it's really here. In the moment in the trailer where they're showing a bunch of boats together, if you look real closely at the bottom left, under the inflatable, there is the shadow of a shark. Sharks confirmed, hopefully. It makes sense. They've been in the series before, I think. So yeah, let's get eaten by them, whatever. Now next over at number 20, in another instance of wild, crazy speculation from a single screenshot, GTA 6 has flood gauge meters, which were identified by user DFavePhoenix. They might not mean anything and are just another realistic detail, but it's possible GTA 6 might have actual flooding or raising water levels, something that is a reality when you live around here. From there, it's possible that there will be all manner of extreme weather conditions, from hurricanes to wildfires. Maybe it's just a background detail, who knows? Next over at number 19, here's something that user Chemical Guest noticed that didn't even register with us at first. In that brief moment where Jason is driving past some cops, you can actually see an unmarked cop car. It's got lights flashing, but it has no police markings, and the lights are inside the car. This is a thing in the real world. I wonder if this will affect the gameplay. Like, will unmarked cars not appear on your radar, or will they just function like any other police car? It's just another detail? I don't know, but there's potential there. It's interesting to think about. Next over at number 18, one of the main characters has an ankle monitor. Yes, she's fresh out of jail, so it makes sense. Another tiny detail that's easy to miss, but if you look, in some scenes, she actually has an ankle monitor. It's probably purely for story reasons, but it's possible that this is sort of like the limiting factor that maybe prevents you from leaving Vice City in the early game. Sort of like the closed bridges in the previous entries, where you had to kind of like open that up later on, maybe with like a more slightly realistic thing here, preventing you from exploring the entire world because the police are watching you. Who knows? It's pure speculation, but it could make sense. Next over at number 17, user El Reaper has some of the most compelling evidence that we've seen so far that there will be some kind of car customization in GTA 6. It was assumed, but still, to see it, good. From trailers and screenshots, they managed to find a few of the same car types, but with different parts. The hope is for Midnight Club 3 style car tuning and editing stuff, but look, any kind of customization is fine and welcome by us. Next, over at number 16, in some of the long shots of Vice City, you can see cranes in the distance. Now, as suggested by user ST.DeBurka, this means that there's a building under construction, which isn't a surprise, but what could be interesting is if they go to the Red Dead 2 route and make it so the building slowly gets built up over the course of the story. Everybody, of course, also always jokes about that building that was under construction in GTA 5 Los Santos forever. Look, who knows whether this will actually happen, but it could be cool. If it happened in Red Dead, why not GTA? Next, over at number 15, look, we already know there's probably going to be a ton of hair options for Lucia alone, but one interesting detail pointed out by Heyternal is that in different screenshots, she actually has different lengths of nails as well. Does this mean that character customization gets as in-depth as selecting nails? It's definitely a possibility, and I'm sure all the broy gamer boys are going to love that. Next, over number 14, one flash and you'll miss it moment from the trailer has Lucia in a kind of cage match. It's not like a workout sense because there are spectators actually, if you look closely, from behind this chain link fence. So it's possible that we might be looking at some kind of MMA underground fighting ring that you could participate in. This could be cool. Next, over at number 13, small thing, this lizard has a little crown on it. Have you seen this thing? It's incredible. Thanks to Dave Olet for spotting it. Just look at it. It's amazing. I don't know. Next at number 12, seems like there's going to be a lot of activities. User D1M10 was nice enough to put together all the possible activities that can be gleaned from the various screenshots, and there is a lot, so buckle up. One is kayaking in the national park. That could be fun. Scuba diving is another one in the screenshot. Fishing, playing pool or billiards, hunting, of course, and potentially basketball, which we see people playing all over the place. One little detail, probably one of my favorite bits in the trailer personally, I remember tweeting about this immediately. There's one screenshot of the guy Kyle Hampton who he's wearing a shirt where if you look closely, it says, "Violence is cool. Thanks, video games." Look, I love that. That's funny. Rockstar, of course, as you probably know, earned the ire of many a politician back in the day, worrying about violence in video games, and that was a thing. So this is just a tongue-in-cheek reference to that. At least that's how we interpret it. As spotted by user Energy1325, it looks like there's at least one pistol in GTA 6 that can switch firing modes. The pistol on the website has a switch on the back, which is a kind of modification that allows a pistol to switch to fully automatic fire. Now, maybe this is just like what that particular pistol looks like. We're not like firearm experts or anything like that, but it could be that GTA 6 features some gun customization, or at the very least, the ability to mode switch firing rates on some of your guns. Next at number 4, of course, the not PlayStation. In the brief moments where we see the TV, you can actually see this not PS5, this knockoff PS5 in the corner here, with fake PS5 controllers on the coffee table. So yeah, it looks like in the world of GTA 6, video games are a thing. Good, makes sense. Next at number 3, here's a subtle one from the character screenshots. This was noticed by user Pikachu with a bunch of O's. It's pretty obvious that Raul Batista is carrying on the legacy of Lance Vance with his all-white suit, but Jason is also kind of giving an homage to Tommy Vercetti with a shirt that has a palm tree pattern on it. Even the character Brian Heder is wearing something similar to a Vice City character, wearing a similar red getup with a floral pattern similar to Ricardo Diaz. Coincidence? I don't know, but either way, it's cool to see. Next, over at number 2, another very easy to miss detail, but it just goes to show how realistic these games are getting. If you freeze frame over the grenade launcher explosion, you can see that there is actually a visible shockwave. It looks crazy. GTA 5 also had these with the updated version, but the fidelity of the GTA 6 ones is even more impressive, so props to Dr. Desktop for noticing this one. And now at number 1, the Banshee is back. Yes, right here, baby. You see it. The classic Banshee is back in GTA 6, and it's really cool to see that classic design come to a modern game. The Banshee was, I guess, kind of a spin on the Dodge Viper, whatever. It was the coolest, fastest, most awesome car in the old games, and we love to see it here. But those are a whopping 50 little weird details and things we wanted to point out. There's actually more out there. There's stuff we didn't talk about, from like random TV snippets to characters to bikers to ammunition stuff, but this is all we could cram in this video, so let us know what you're thinking in the comments. Any stuff that you observed at all. Check it out. Also, check the link in the description for all the sources, but if you like talking GTA 6 with us, clicking the like button helps. We just talk about video games every day. But also subscribe if you're new, because we do put out videos every single day. We've been very busy, so yeah, keep your eyes peeled. But either way, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.